Number 4, he must have a strong sense of identity. There's nothing as bad as marrying an insecure man. Listen, ladies, you must marry a man whose vision is large enough to accommodate yours. A man who understands who he is. Jesus would walk around everywhere saying, I am the bread of life. I am the good shepherd. He knew who he was. And he was comfortable. He said, you see, the reason why you are talking, I said you should give me water, you're asking me questions, is because you don't know the gift of God that is before you. He had a strong sense of identity. He knew who he was. A man that doesn't know who he is can never recognize who you are. Never. He will want to keep you small. He will want to make you inferior. I had a friend when I was in university. She got married while we were in school. So she got married in her second year. Or I don't even know I think maybe she was married. No, she was married before she came into school. Yeah, she was married before she came into school, Ife. And this girl was very intelligent. But every time we had a test, for some reason she was absent. Because she had to go home every weekend. Her husband lived in Lagos. We schooled in Ife. She had to go home every weekend. And the real reason why she had to go home every weekend was the man wasn't comfortable enough to leave her in school because he's wondering what she's doing over the weekend. An insecure man. And any time they have a misunderstanding, if he says something to her and she answers, he's like, oh, because he didn't go to university. He's like, oh, so you think you know more than me. You're not going back to school, so he will lock her in the house. This girl finished with a 3rd class. Not because she wasn't intelligent, but she married a man who refused to allow her fly because he was insecure. So marrying a man that is insecure is the worst thing you can do to yourself. Jesus was very confident. She said, how can you, a Jew, ask me? She said, Jesus said, you don't even know what we're talking about. You are still talking Jew. I'm saying you need to understand the gift of God. He must be a man that can sell himself to you. He must be comfortable in his own skin. You shouldn't intimidate him. Because you will do great things. You're called to do great things. So if you marry a man who doesn't want to do great things, guess what? Go press you. So the first thing is what? He must be. Second thing is he must be. Third thing he must be. Fourth thing he must be. He must have strong identity. And the last one. He must be a man who is invested in you. A man who is invested in bringing out the best in you. When I got married to Pastor K, I will still say it, beef me all you want. What's And when you marry your own, when you collect my, come and say your own. So I'm going to say it again. When I got married to Pastor K, what people. So when I met Pastor K, when we got married, I used to be very shy. I know a lot of people don't believe that now. I used to be very shy. I would die first and to stand on a stage like this in front of people. Why, what's happening? I would die first. So when we got married, I had this plan, right? I saw that this guy had great potential. He had the charisma, the looks, and the personality to be on TV, to drive whatever he wanted to do. He wanted to write books. I was willing to write those books. Just hide somewhere in the corner, write the books. He had a church that was thriving. I knew that if I brought in some extra excellence to it, that we would do better. You know, I just had this huge plan that I was just going to stand behind him and be hidden away and be doing great things, you know. I felt like I wanted to be like salt. You know, you don't see salt, but when you put salt in food, you know that it has effect. So I came on board to be salt in his life. But along the line, Pastor K kept saying to me, you're too powerful to stand behind me. I need you to stand beside me. I would say, oh, people like love too much. That's your problem. Pay attention to what I'm teaching you. But there was something about the fact that he saw potential in me. He knew that if he put the right amount of love, guidance, grooming, training, that I would be a better version of myself. So I remember the first time Pastor K got me to preach. we're sitting in church. And so he had preached, then it used to be 2 services, or 3 services, I can't remember, I think it was 3 services. And Pastor K had preached first service. And then he turns over, just the way he's sitting beside Hassan, he turns over to his side and says, "You're preaching second service." I'm like, "Oh, what's that one? What's preaching second service? What's that now? Stop." He said, "No, I'm serious." I say, "Stop, jokes. What preaching was? What do I want to go and say?" He said, "Say what I said in first service." I say, "No, I cannot say what you said in first service. I have to hear God. I have to study." I have to say, "Okay, you better study quickly because second service, you're preaching second service." I was like, "No, this is not happening. It's not possible." I thought he was joking. I was like, "It's not possible, Joe. Pastor K is playing. He's always playing. Everybody knows Pastor K plays. There's no way." So after first service, Pastor K was just sitting outside. So they came to tell me that it's time for second service for the person preaching God. I was like, "Yes, now, Pastor K is outside. Go and tell him." So they go to him and they say, "Pastor K, it's time for you to go up." He says, No, Pastor M is preaching." So they come back to me and say, "Pastor K says you are preaching and choir is already singing." I'm like, "No." No, he's joking. So I go to him and he says, "Oh, you don't see me playing. I'm playing. I'm not coming in. I'm playing." I'm like, "You can't play. You can't. It's God's word. You can't. Do you understand? You can't. Wait. Why are you doing like this? Wait, I tried everything. Unfortunately, I know that most people, their husbands have mumu button. My own has a malfunction. No matter what you do, tears don't move him. Batting your eyes don't move him. Promising him food doesn't move him. Pastor K will do exactly what he wants to do. So I tried everything. "Honey, me, do you want to disgrace me? You want to embarrass me?" He said, "We have no reputation for this. I go up nothing." And as he was saying, "Time is going. Go and get your thoughts together." And so I went up. Honestly, I have no idea what I preached that day. But I learned a huge lesson. To be instant in season and out of season, because if he has done it once, he will do it again. And that's exactly what he did. So he started doing that. He would just say, "Honey, tomorrow I don't feel like preaching. Will you preach tomorrow?" I'm like, "No." It's like, "Do you want me to tell you now? You want me to tell you tomorrow?" And I'll just go adjust myself. And because he put that much effort into, and I would finish preaching and he would come and tell me, "Oh, that was rubbish. Why didn't you add this? Why didn't you add?" I'm like, "You can't even encourage me." It's like, I'm not your cheerleader. I'm your coach. And at the time, it was painful. I'm not even going to lie. It was painful. I didn't feel like he was a good husband at the time. It was very annoying, always having to struggle with these things. In fact, even learning how to drive. Pastor K dealt with me in this life. I learned how to drive, but I like to be driven. I don't know about the rest of you, but I just like this. Like, you guys know, right? I want to just sit down in the car and bring out a book and everybody's driving me around. I don't know. I mean, that princess life is just for me. God. So Pastor K realized that this girl, she wants to turn me to a driver and it's not going to happen in this marriage. So one midweek service, Wednesday evening, I got ready upstairs, taking my pretty time, make myself beautiful to be carried like a princess, painting my face, doing everything. Then I come downstairs and I don't see Pastor K. And I pick up my phone. I'm like, "Honey, where are you? It's time for service." He says, "Oh, I'm already in church. Drive down." Guys, I didn't even know where the light was in the car. Do you understand? Because I used to drive in the afternoon, so I didn't even know where to turn on the light. So I prayed in tongues all the way, saying, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. The Lord is my light and my salvation. I will not have an accident." And I got to church and I was so mad at him. I don't think I heard anything he preached. And he said to me, "That has freed you now." And then he now signed me up for a training. Then we used to live in Festac and signed me up for a training in Ikeja. See, when you're driving Festac, those, at least you can just drive small, just go down the road. Express. Lagos Express is a different driving. First of all, there are no driving rules in Nigeria. We all know that. Then all the way to Ikeja in the morning. So there's rush hour, everything. Pastor K says, so how will you, and he'll be so innocent about it, so how will you get to school? I'm like, I don't understand. How will you get to school now? Because I'm not standing up from here, so how do you want to get to school? So I will carry myself and drive my driving. When it came to trusting God for children, and I'm trying to show you, when a man is invested in you, he will need to sometimes take tough decisions. So I always tell people, don't just marry a man who spoils you. Marry a man who pampers you, right? But don't marry a man who spoils you.